Top of the evening to you folks. How's everybody doing? Glad to be back. Glad to have you here. Once again, just wanted to say thanks very much for everybody who's been listening. If you have been listening, please give us a subscribe and a like. And it means the world to us. We're trying to grow this channel and we're trying to keep doing this. So if you have been enjoying it, it makes a difference to us. So all you need is a Gmail account, baby. Drums, let's do her. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the kingdom. As always, my name is Drums, and I'm joined by the brothers behind King Golf, Regan and Jordan Headley. As we usually do, we'll head up north, up to D-Town, see what's going on with our buddy Reg. How's it going, bud?
Hello, boys. How's she going?
Good day.
Good. Not much going on here. Lots of snow. Pat the Rat had a day today. He's quite busy. Might have shoveled at Aspen about 3 or 4 times. It just kind of kept snowing. It's kind of funny to see him out the window all day. But for 78, he keeps going pretty hard. So I don't know. Each one of these snowfalls, I get worried that they might be the last, but he seems to be powering through. Other than that, I got a big weekend coming up. I'm heading to Flin Flon, Manitoba for the first time ever. Foxy's living up there, so I'm going up to see him. I haven't met his baby yet, so I'm going to go up there and see the family for the weekend and take in Flin Flon for all it has to offer. I'm kind of excited. I've heard lots of cool things about it, but I don't know about going in the middle of January. Middle of January. Might not be the best idea, but we'll see how it is, I guess.
Like, is it substantially colder up there?
I don't think substantially colder. I just know they have a lot of snow. Like, Gordy told me that I can't take my car because I won't make it up there. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know what that means, but we're taking Easton's SUV.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So that's what's going on with me.
Over to Jor. What's going on?
Top of the evening to you folks. Foxy boy might have to come with 6 Huskies in a sled for you.
Rescue mission.
Pack your bags on the back and pull you in. Did you ever go there for hockey?
No, I've never been there.
I don't know that we had either. I know we've been to Thompson a few times.
You guys went to Flin Flon once.
Did we?
Dad still tells the story, yeah.
I thought so, but I didn't know for sure. I remember the trip to Thompson, but anyways, I shoveled today too for it felt like the 10th time this week, but man, it just doesn't end. And it's like every time you shovel again, the hill that you have to throw the snow over gets higher and higher.
Or it blows
I was
back
leaking
in.
out there today. Holy shitskis. Unbelievable. But I was going to ask you guys this on an overrated or underrated segment, but do you guys feel like it's overrated or underrated to keep your driveway clean, or just let her buck for the winter and shovel it if it gets really bad? Because I've been like scraping mine and like trying to keep it clean as possible, and it's a lot of work. It's dedication for sure to this driveway. Is it worth it? I don't know.
I'm like, it's definitely nice having it right to the pavement, but at the same time, like after work and it's dark out and it's snowed all day and it's -40 out, I just come home and straight inside piss on it. So when it gets nice, then I get outside. Like last week, there were some nice days, so I made a point to actually get out there to put some work into it. But I don't know. I'm of the mind that it is overrated. Just drive over the shit if you can.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm torn. This winter I was trying to keep it shaved, and I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but it seems like every time it snows, it's like, I'm not going to name any names again, but somebody likes to just cruise right on up onto the driveway, and then you got 2 grooves anyway, so you might as well just let the whole thing go.
Does that person rhyme with Easton?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty frustrating, but I try to just keep it so you're not walking through snow now. Like, I think it's okay to have a layer of snow, but like not walking through and shovel a path up to the front doorstep for the male person and
Yeah.
shovel the deck next to the door. But as far as scraping it right to the bone, I feel like that's a retired thing to do, to be honest. I don't know.
Well, like
Yeah, no, I don't know. Like I've gone winters. I remember one winter in particular where I was at I forget where I was even, but I didn't shovel once. I don't think I even had a shovel, and lived to tell about it. So it's like
Yep.
I've put so many hours in there. It's crazy. Even like, okay, sorry, we're getting off topic a bit here, but
let's go.
like our garden this year, like I probably spent 30 hours plus in the garden here, watering every day because it was a hot summer, watering and different stuff like that. And we got 2 little watermelons out of there. Not full size, but like decent size. Ate half of one, and the other one just went bad in the fridge. I'm like, what are we doing? Why did I do all of that for what? So
Could have just spent $10.
could have spent $10. It was delicious though, the one that I had, but you just have to wonder if like the work you put in is worth your time. I don't know.
Another thing.
It's a good workout, but
with the driveway, it is nice. Like it's nice to go out. Like even if it is really cold, it's still nice to just get out there and get some fresh air and
yeah,
get a little sweat on.
I agree. That's kind of, yeah. So I'd say
I'd still say it's
rate it, but
overrated.
I just wanted to get
I
your
would still
opinion.
say it's overrated, but
Probably me too. Drums,
Yo,
what's up with you, buddy?
not much over here. We got the little guy's birthday is tomorrow. We had a little family get together, little party on Saturday, and then actually we got some drinks in with some pals, such as yourself, Jor.
Yep.
That's about as exciting
Celebrated
as
for Luca.
it's about as exciting as things get over here. Just in the meat freezer here, waiting for warm weather.
Spring.
Yeah.
that's what somebody
Not too far away, boys.
that's what somebody said to me that day. I said, "How's it going?" I don't know. What have you been up to? Waiting. Just waiting for spring. That's all there's.
Isn't that
Just
sad?
waiting.
God, that's sad.
It's kind of funny though.
That's Canada, I guess, but Manitoba especially. It's like you look forward to summer for so long, then it just flies by, and then you're just waiting for it to come back again.
Oh, that's good stuff though. Son of a bitch. I loved it.
So tonight we got kind of a different episode, I'd say, than we're used to doing on here. We saw the news about Netflix a couple weeks ago, which we talked about briefly. But tonight we're going to spend a little bit of time digging in a little bit deeper, talking about the players involved, who's not involved, a little bit more background information, and then maybe just some questions and things that we want to see as fans, I guess, ourselves from the show. And then a couple other things along the way. Might get into our segments. Too soon to say at this point, but we might have them back for the year. So I guess just to kind of give a quick overview of what's going on with the show. If you're a golfer, you've probably been paying attention to, I guess, what's going on with it and who's involved. But we're just going to give some info to those who haven't been. So it's this same producers as the series, the F1 series that we've been talking about on here for a while. I think it's called Box to Box Productions. Anyways, it's the exact same crew that did the F1 stuff that's now covering the PGA stuff. Filming started, I believe, and it wraps up in August of 2022. So they don't have an exact date for the show to begin yet, but I'm thinking it'll be late 2022 or early 2023 if that's when their cutoff is for the footage of it. So the PGA won't be involved in anything, I don't think, as far as I've read and seen. It's all going to be the producers from Netflix. So who's involved in it? It's going to be Speith, Justin Thomas, Rickie, Brooks, DJ, Colin Morikawa, Victor Hovland, Xander, Sergio, Tony Finau, Bubba, Harry Higgs, and many. There's quite a few, actually. It's a huge list. Not going to name them all, but there's some ones that I've never really heard of. I'm sure Rigo has, but what I found interesting was the players who aren't on there, which are Tiger, Phil, Bryson. Who else?
Like, were you
I
expecting?
can't really
Tiger
be
and
too
Phil to
surprised
be on it?
about Tiger.
I don't know. Why not? Like
I thought Phil probably, but probably not Tiger.
I
No?
didn't
Well,
think
I
he
guess
would.
just because when they were planning all this, probably like they didn't just start planning last week. Like this has been in the works for about 6 months. So when they were planning for it, Tiger was still in the hospital, probably in reality.
true.
Like,
And this
but
just
Phil,
doesn't seem
I'm
like it's up his
surprised.
alley.
Phil or Tiger?
Tiger.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
no.
Rory's not on there, and neither is John Rahm.
That
So,
shocked me actually.
yeah,
Rahm and
I was
Rory.
pretty
I thought
Yeah.
pissed
Rory
to
would
see
be.
that. I thought those guys would be awesome on there, especially Rahm. Rahm would have been, I think, probably one of the best characters out there. Other than like even Phil, we know Phil though. I think like we know who Phil is just because of his social media, and he's been around so long. I would have liked to seen Rahm on there. I think that's the main guy that I'm missing.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I wonder for Phil if it was just that he's pretty comfortable with his public persona
Yeah,
and maybe didn't want that to change.
could
Right.
be
Yeah, that makes
because
sense.
he's a very well liked guy around the world. I think.
Right? Yeah, like he's kind of the Arnold Palmer of this generation.
What was I gonna say?
I also think
Rahm.
that
Maybe Rahm's the same way. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't understand the Rahm one, but like Bryson said today they asked him or whenever it was, but he said that he wants to give some of the other guys the spotlight. And I think that everybody knows Bryson. I think Bryson would have done himself a huge favor by going in it to give fans a little bit more of who he actually is instead of how the media portrays him. But you guys are right. Phil might think the same. And I'm sure even non-golfers around the world know who Phil is and know what he's about. And for the most part, really like him. So it might not make a whole lot of sense for that to be potentially jeopardized by, a film crew and a producer who maybe doesn't like him. I don't know.
Yeah,
Right. Like I think when you sign up for it, I think the production crew is going to have kind of last say of what gets shown.
Mm-hmm.
And to not have that control, it probably does take away for some guys. For Rory and Rombo, I know they both just had kids in the last year. So the amount of time that you're spending more at the course for doing the interviews and stuff like that may take away from being with your kid and your family. So like that might have played into it. Like there might be some stuff like that too.
True.
Yeah, and like even if you look at F1, like it doesn't really make you like Verstappen all that much watching it, right? And maybe like I'd like to talk to somebody who was actually into F1 before to see what impact it had on them that way.
And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about to get going here, I think, is to compare the PGA upcoming series to the F1 series and whether you guys think it'll be as popular or what you think will be the keys to the success of it. And I mentioned, I just saw this a couple minutes before we actually hopped on here, that the PGA is actually giving them free reign to do whatever they want, which is one of my biggest concerns. So we can kind of put that to bed early. From what I've heard from the PGA on their side of things, they said that they have no control over what they show. They're just giving them the rights to the footage and the filming of it. So I guess think about F1 and think about as golfers, as non-F1 fans, think about what you guys really liked about the show and what drew you to it. Because at the end of the day, the PGA isn't looking for us to watch it. We're going to watch it, but they're doing this to get people who are not golf fans right now over into golf. Right. So what do you guys think that, what's the keys here to the success of the show?
That's kind of what I was going to say. Like before you went into that, like if you talk to an F1 person, like I bet you they'd watch the F1 show and just kind of say, "Oh, whatever." Like, yeah, it was cool, but like, this is kind of stuff we know about already. Like, if you watch a race on a Sunday now, it's everybody as intense as the show, right? Like, it's kind of crazy actually. But you would never watch it before you watch the show. So, I don't think this. Like, what do you think they should show? Because there really isn't like. With F1 basically on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you kind of do get that behind the scenes feel as it is. They have the leading up stuff. They have in the Paddocks before, but they don't really have that in the PGA, right? Like, I guess they kind of do. Like, they go to the putting green and show stats and stuff, but like they really don't show you all that much except for them practicing, right?
Well, like they show warm up, they don't really show practice.
Right.
Which
I don't know.
Is different too, right? Like we haven't really got to see the behind the scenes of somebody's actual practice session, unless like there's ways to see it like online and stuff. I was also gonna say for Bryson, he kind of does his own behind the scenes thing on his YouTube channel, right? He does vlogs and everything like that. So he may just get enough money out of it that way where it's not even worth his time to do it too. The PGA giving them kind of free reign over everything, they had to. I don't think Netflix or the production company would have actually done this if they didn't have control. And as we've talked about for the past probably 3 months, the PGA has got to do everything they can right now to either gain or keep viewership. Hopefully this does gain. I don't know if it causes an influx of golfers, but I think it will cause an influx of spectators. Like you said, Reg, like F1 now has like the biggest attendance they've ever had in their history. I think it all is going to be based off of how well or how much of the guys' personalities is actually portrayed and how that goes. You can't really predict how somebody's actually going to come across on screen, I guess, all the time. But I like that's the biggest ingredient, I guess, to success.
Like authenticity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that like, I think there's going to be some golfers like
if somebody's actually a dick, I want to see it.
Yeah. I think there's some golfers that have good images right now or the other way, like golfers that don't have the best image, like sure, it might even be possible. And I know you're going to say no chance, but like you could see Thomas in a different light than they show him on TV, and you might actually like him,
for sure.
And there might be guys like that. And
but
I've heard
also at the same time, just quickly before you go into that, the TV doesn't really show him in any way. That's just kind of what I've gathered from him from watching him and knowing his.
Does. I'm saying that you might see a different side.
No, for sure. I might for sure. But I mean, even thinking back to like Tiger's event at Paynes Valley there when he was commentating, like, I mean, I liked what he was doing and he was kind of funny and stuff, but it still didn't really change my attitude. But it very well could, for sure. Basically, like these production crews are so good at making you like somebody like Ricardo. I mean, they made the whole F1 audience fall in love with Ricardo. So I mean, they could do that with somebody else just as easy. That's what they do for a living, right? They produce stuff, they make you. So they're going to do a good job with this, and they're going to promote golf to its fullest. Whatever they can do right now, it's going to be done. But it is tough to see those personalities like Bryson, Rahm, and Rory be omitted from it, right? I mean, those are three of the, I mean, aside from Tiger and Phil, those are three of the biggest golfers in the world right now. I would say three most popular, and they're out.
But also at the same time, like a lot of these names, like there's bigger names than I was kind of anticipating.
Yeah, true.
Like maybe there's not that
big lineup for sure.
There's maybe not that top 4 or 5 included in it, but there's the next 15.
Yeah. See, but the difference, I guess, in F1 is it was everybody, right? It was all the top dogs.
To some extent.
Yeah, like imagine if Lewis Hamilton wasn't there, or Max.
But like Lewis
isn't there next year.
Lewis really isn't in there that much.
No, he wasn't in the first season, but the latter half he was.
But, and he was in there enough to notice him, to get his personality a bit,
The other thing I'll say,
think about what think about what you guys like so much about F1. For me, it was like the education of it, right? Like I didn't know anything about the pit crews. I didn't know that they were in I knew that they were in teams, but not like that. I didn't know they actually were competing against each other because they're the only ones driving the same cars.
Right.
I like the geographical aspect of it, like seeing different countries. seeing how they convert the streets into racetracks and stuff like that. I had no idea about that. And I think that that's one thing that the PGA one will lack, because the majority of the tournaments are in the USA and a lot of people will be familiar with the cities and stuff that they're traveling to. But I think that they are doing the majors too. So there'll be stuff overseas and whatever else as well. So
I was going to say, like,
it's
with growing the game and growing the popularity of the game, excuse me, Alyssa's sister-in-law, she started watching the, I forget even what the Maple Leafs one was called on Prime, like the 24/7 or whatever the hell that thing was.
Yeah.
But she watched that, and then so she started to like fall in love with personalities, and now she's keeping up with what the Leafs are doing this year based off of that. And then we got them on F1. They're now watching the series for the second time, and like she sends me and Liz like any news that comes out about F1 or drivers and stuff. Like people just get all in and stuff like this. And so when I said this is coming about, she's like, oh, perfect, another thing for me to watch. And then at the same time, she's probably going to follow along afterwards. Like I think there are a lot of people like that.
For sure.
100%.
And that's I honestly think that that's who they're targeting, is people like that.
Yeah.
Because we're not gonna learn much. We'll probably learn a few things. I would assume, like just about guys' different personalities, like Rigo said, and maybe a little bit of stuff behind the scenes that we wouldn't usually see. We're not gonna learn that much. We're probably gonna enjoy the experience a lot more if they are showing, like, you know, somebody snapping their club or dropping an F-bomb. I want to see a lot of F-bombs. I actually really like that about F1, is they weren't afraid to
let them go,
to say the F-word. And I'm thinking the producers will get that out of these guys as well. I'm a little bit more worried about their sponsors that they have attached to them, because that always, you know, makes them bite their tongue a little bit, but it didn't seem to bother the F1 guys.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's more of a societal thing, if you want to get into that. But I don't think they're going to sewer anybody like that. Like they're going to show pretty much everything they can. But if some guy's ripping his Chevy car and he's got a Chevy dealership part, like they're not going to show that. I wouldn't think.
But I don't think that
a Chevy.
Like you said, that the PGA is allowing all the footage, but I don't think it's the PGA that these guys are actually worried about, to be honest. Like I don't think the PGA really sanctions anything to do with these guys. I think it is their corporate sponsors that, like the PGA would, but I think it's more the corporate sponsors that pay all their bills and do everything like that. Like when you see somebody get in trouble, like when you see Tiger get in trouble, when you see JT when he made that slur, when you see all that stuff, it's never the PGA that actually does anything. Like they might suspend them for a week, but like it's the sponsors that drop them, and that's what really affects the players. So it's good to see that the PGA is letting them go free, but it's another thing for the corporations, because all these guys, that's what they kind of make their money on, right? So it'll be interesting. Like I don't think it'll be as I don't know.
Graphic.
Yeah, I don't think it will be. I don't think it can be, just for their image of their sponsors. And it's shitty that way. But with F1, I mean, their sponsors, their team, and I mean, they don't care, right? Like it's just they just have one and that's it, right?
Well, they're
it's
part
just,
of it, yeah.
Right. So
the other crazy thing that I came across with this is like the PGA guys can't tweet out PGA owned property. So like they can't tweet out a video of them,
clips of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's weird,
because it's PGA owned. I think they could, but the PGA like would collect money from them if they collected any, like, you know what I mean? Like if they started collecting ad revenues from all the videos they were showing and stuff like that, like the PGA would come knock it, which is hilarious because they're a non-profit organization, right?
But also like, would these guys be posting their own like
some guys do
and stuff?
Yeah, some guys do. Yeah. They still do. Like on Instagram and stuff, they'll post like reels of like all their top shots from the weekend, say good weekend at whatever it is at the tournament. And then so they still do post like reels and stuff. But I think that, like you said, Drums, they do have to pay the PGA any profit that they get.
They need someone like Tom Brady who has like a selfie video after every game he wins, and then has like a little highlight reel with sweet music in the background. Like
Yeah,
that'd
those
be
are sweet.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't the PGA
They do
that?
that.
Like,
They do that. They do.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Like
I
there are
haven't seen
players
one
that do that.
before.
JT always posts pictures of his shots. I didn't want to say that because I didn't want you to start ripping them, but he posts like videos on his Instagram, like
No,
recaps of the tournament.
like do a little like montage of like the weekend and like the highlights and with sweet music and stuff. Like, why is Tom Brady the only athlete who does that?
I'm saying that JT does that.
Okay.
Like he posts montages with music in them.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that. I've never seen that before.
Well, you wouldn't follow him. You hate him.
just like you hate Granite Hills.
I love Granite Hills.
You diarrheaed all over them. That's what Drum said last episode.
Yeah, I don't know.
So let's talk about some things, I guess, that we're excited about, because even as golf fans, there are things that I'm really excited to see for sure. Like you can only watch rounds and rounds and rounds, and same golfers every weekend, it seems like. Although Jim Furyk was in the mix last weekend, a couple old boys were getting a little taste there, so that was good to see. And speaking of that, what about Hideki's shot quickly before we get any further in here?
Absolute dart.
Yeah, we didn't get to do the housekeeping I was hoping for. That was wild.
Does he have the worst style on the tour though? Like, holy crap! Who dresses him?
And it magnifies by 10.
Gotta be
it
single.
magnifies by 10 in the majors.
Yeah, when there's actual cameras on him, he dresses his worst, it seems like.
Yeah.
Like with those stripes and shit. Come on, Hideki.
And like yellow on yellow.
Yeah, terrible. Terrible style.
He loves
the
yellow.
Worst.
I mean, I like yellow too, but
holy shit.
as like an accent, not like you're not.
Yeah, you're walking around like a goddamn
yellow.
banana.
How old
I'm
do you
not
think
ever
he
wearing a
is?
yellow shirt. Hey?
I was just gonna say this.
How old do you think he is?
Before I saw that tweet, I would have guessed like high 30s.
Yeah, I was thinking 36.
What is he?
Something.
He's 29, right? Yeah.
He's been around
the
for
oldest 29-year-old ever.
Yeah. I love how Drums is chirping Hideki, and then he's wearing a toque like a hat right now.
Yeah, but I'm at home. He's in the public eye.
True.
Yeah, true.
Also, did you see that one drive
that,
he's teeing up like two inches behind the tee block? How he didn't hit it, I have no idea.
Even watching the video, it's uncomfortable.
What's that, sorry?
Like the one that he almost fell over swinging?
Yeah.
Why did he swing so hard there?
Like his ankles got to take a beating because he does that like 3 times around.
Is he on the show or no?
I don't think so. He's actually a very good player to watch. Like, he's entertaining.
Super fun.
I just wish that he spoke more English, but I'm sure that played a part of him not being on here, because I don't think he speaks a lick, does he?
Well, he's still young. He could probably learn it.
Yeah, true. He's got a long ways to go. Long
him and Sonny.
Yeah.
True, Sonny.
Okay, real quick on that. I want to talk about that golf for a second. Did you guys notice? Were you watching the playoff?
No.
Drums?
No.
Oh my God! So Russell Henley hit his tee shot in the bunker, laid up. Hideki sticks a dart of a 3-wood from 275 to like inside 3 feet. Henley has 88 yards. Airmails the green into the crowd.
I did see that.
Takes like 10 minutes to take a drop, takes a drop, hits it to 10 feet. Hideki's got his ball mark like 3 feet. The announcers are saying like he is able to concede this if he wants to. Hits his shot onto like 10 feet, walks on the green, goes through, I'm not exaggerating when I say a 5-minute fucking routine for this 10-foot putt for par when Hideki's got less than 3
for eagle.
Like, he was just about to putt, lines it up, doesn't like what he sees, so he walks all the way around Hideki's mark, goes to the other side of the hole, takes a look from that angle, goes back, goes through his whole routine again, and then misses it. So he bogeys and Hideki made an eagle. Like, what? I don't know what was happening. Like the whole crowd was just dead silent. The announcers were silent for like 5 minutes because
What do
nobody
you
knew
do
what was
though?
happening.
Like maybe he didn't know that he had to concede.
Or that he could.
Just walk
that he
up and
could.
tap it. Why would he go through his whole routine? It's for par. He's got a less than 3-footer for eagle.
I'm sure he hated it more than anybody else.
Yeah.
But yes.
I know
very
it looked
weird
like
play.
he was enjoying it, man. It was weird.
He's enjoying it. Yeah, sure.
It was super strange, man. Honestly.
Okay. So let's talk about
Wait, one more thing before we get back into Netflix. But did you see the tweet of this massive unit that's playing on the PGA Tour this week?
Man, he hits
Yeah,
it
I did
400
see that.
He
yards.
averages 373 yards. He's 6'10". This guy is enormous. He's going to probably be on the next season of the Netflix show.
Was it the guy who was on the Kingdom video reel yesterday? You see that guy?
That guy was a little shorter,
Yeah, and a little bit less pound
a little rounder.
for sure.
He
But
crushed
he's a big
that.
boy.
He smoked.
That might have been the
shit.
hardest I've ever seen somebody hit a golf ball. And it seemed like he was in the air for an hour. It was like 9 seconds in the air. I counted it.
He had good balance. I'm not gonna lie for how hard he
Oh my
swung.
god, it's crazy. Anyways, that was a mid edition of housekeeping for tonight. We good?
Let's rock.
Yeah, you kind of just went right into the episode before, so we didn't get time
Yeah,
for
I know.
housekeeping.
I know. We also have some housekeeping to do at the end of the show, so remind me of that. But let's keep going with Netflix here. Okay, so what are you guys most excited to see? Like, what do you guys want to see from this as golf fans who know quite a bit about the players in the PGA? Like, what are you guys looking forward to most, I guess, about the upcoming Netflix series?
Augusta.
How's that going to work? Do you think that they'll be legit? Okay.
From what I've seen, it's kind of like they got free reign everywhere. Well, not free reign,
But
but they
do
can.
you think that they'll dive into like Augusta in the same way that Rigo did a couple weeks ago, like that kind of thing? Or
No, like they'll give
You're
like,
worried that
and
they'll
again,
get-
it's only going to be one episode, so like they've got to cram a bunch of shit in one episode
right,
for like the Masters,
including the Masters.
right? So I mean, like they'll get a little bit of the behind the scenes. I don't know if it's going to be as much as we want, but I'm still eager to see like how the setup and everything, not just Augusta, but mainly Augusta, but for every tournament, the preparation going into the course. I hope they do show some of that. I don't know how important that'll be for like the success of the show, but for us, I need to see a bit of that.
You know, I was just thinking about, and like, I think I was like, F1 races are so crazy. And there's such a, like, so they build it up the whole weekend. Like they show on the episodes, like it's in Bath, and then they show the whole thing. And then at the end, it's the race, and it's so intense. And F1 is intense. Like a guy could die at any race. Like golf isn't like that, but I'm hoping that they really capture like, so say like the final group, and there's 2 guys in there, and the guy's about to hit a shot. Like I hope they capture like that, where the conversation between him and his caddy, to see how intense it is. Like his voice will probably be trembling a bit. Like he'll be so nervous, and I hope they can like go behind him and like show how intense the crowds are, like to actually get a view from the actual player's view. Because you don't ever get to see that really. Like it's just an overhead of the guy on the tee and the crowd around him. But it'd be cool to see like a close up of that, like down the stretch, to see what kind of conversations they have, what goes through their head. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you don't get that right now at all. But I think that's the only way that they could really pump up the actual golf part of it.
You kind of like, you can hear them talking back and forth, but
More and more now.
I don't think you get enough of it to get a full picture though. And I think that that's why something like this will add more to it. Because there'll be, other players maybe talking about it as this is going on, and then you can actually hear a really clear picture of the conversation. And there'll be music and stuff like that, which will make it more, entertaining. Right. So I also agree with that. I think that that'll be, because what else would they do, right? Like there are no crashes, there are no fiery blazes. But
they might show that stuff that we don't get to see right now, like when Rahm quick hooked that one, and started
Yes.
banging his club and running around the course yelling. Like that'd be kind of
Yes.
cool to see.
And that's exactly what I think will be the coolest part about the show. Not coolest, but the thing that I'm looking forward to most is the blow-ups, because they just don't show them right now. If it's Tiger Woods, they don't really have a choice whether to show it or not. We've heard Tiger drop a lot of F-bombs and slam a lot of clubs after a poor shot because the cameras are on him, right? They're not going to cut away from it. But, some of the other guys who are struggling a little more, and we miss that. It'll be cool to see that. I don't know what it'll look like. I'm sure it'll be like kind of a montage of stuff like that. And that'd be my guess for it, but I don't know for sure. I'm just looking forward to seeing some of the stuff that the PGA doesn't show.
I want to see, like what guys get up to if they miss a cut. Because
I was thinking that.
Like not all of these guys are going to make the cut every week, right? Like, so do they just have like a boys' weekend? Do they fly home right afterwards? Or what do they do?
What do you think they do?
Like, I bet you like they have a bit of rest and regroup, maybe in the city that they're in. I literally have no idea. I'd never even thought about it before.
It also probably depends on whether they have a family or not.
I was just going to say,
yeah.
If it's a single guy, he's getting banged up. Like on a Friday.
I think so.
No,
but even if they don't make the cut, like, do you think that they're going out for beers after a round?
I don't know.
Like on a Friday or Saturday? Do you think they are?
I don't know. And the other thing with this, like with COVID being around, like, can they? Or like, what's the situation?
COVID's gone in the US, but yeah. I think that the majority of the US is fairly open up. I don't know that they ever shut down, like in Florida and Texas, maybe for like a month or so. But because I think that that's where a lot of the tournaments would be in the Carolinas and the Floridas and Texases.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty cool.
Majors.
Do you think they'll show like I had down, do you think they'll show like footage from the practice rounds?
I hope so.
Like, do you think guys go out and bet like healthy bets?
Hell yeah.
Before the tournament?
Hell yeah.
I'd like to see like I'd like to see major prep. Like I'd like to see, because I mean it's not just like they know exactly the layout of the course and exactly where they want to be on every single hole, right? Like there's so much planning that goes into it. I'd like to see like a whole episode of them diving into something like that, like just a player and his caddy going over the whole strategy for the weekend, because there's a ton of it, I think, right?
Yes. I mean, now but see there, I think that would be something that appeals to golfers, like people who don't necessarily are non-golf fans right now. I don't know how turned on they would be by that. I think that that's more like a golf TV type of thing where like I would subscribe and watch that kind of stuff. I don't know though. It could be. I'm sure they'll do an incredible job of finding whatever is the most exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's involved, then definitely it'll be in there. And
thinking back to like a random fan just getting into the show, like no affiliation with golf whatsoever, I don't know how much they care about that stuff yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's like what the show works towards. So maybe that would be in later seasons. Maybe.
I do think that they'll have some of it. Like if you think back to F1, like they showed the guys like in their facilities, playing their
practice
simulator game, stuff like that. Like I was interested in that as a non-fan. So you're probably right. I'm sure there will be stuff of, what goes into each round, and especially the majors for sure. So there definitely will have to be some appeal to golfers as well, right? Like this can't just be a show that's like an entertaining to non-golf fans only.
Right.
So
I guess, the thing with that too, like if there's somebody that you like, like right now, say like if Rickie's near the lead or Rory's near the lead, like I don't necessarily watch golf every weekend, but if one of those guys is near the top, Rahm, I flip it on just to watch them. Mm-hmm. I think this show will make you like a lot more guys. Make you like a lot more guys than you do right now, and get on a different level to where if a guy like oh, I don't know who to use as an example, but if they're leading a tournament, you're gonna be like, oh, I like that guy on the Netflix show. Like, I'm gonna flip it on and see how he does here, because you can connect with him on more of a personal level.
If it's Cameron Champ or somebody like that, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's what'll be one of the biggest things that comes out of this is like getting to know some of the less known guys. And there's a big list, and half of the names I recognize really well, who I would think that I'm familiar with. But there's also like the guy that you were talking about, Drums. There's a few guys like that. And if I think back to F1, part of the cool part of that whole thing was like learning how hard it is to be in the top 20, right? And like to keep those seats. And so you also get the up and comers involved in there, because you're kind of following along their journey, and you're also seeing the guys at the top and how different their lives are there. And I think that it'll also be really cool to see, because Cockrell kind of touched on it last week, and something that I didn't know about is the top 50 have like they're in a different level than everybody else in terms of their exemptions and stuff like that onto basically any tour, which I was kind of familiar with, but I didn't know the ins and outs of it. So I think that if they go into something like that and kind of explain that to people, and how, you get to be on the PGA and how you get to have an exemption, and maybe one of these guys who gets kicked off by another guy, and how, stuff like that.
Yeah, kind of along those lines too. They have the #1 ranked amateur golfer participating as he gets going on his first majors. I would have loved to see John Daly, kind of that. You got the new crop coming in, you've got the current guys, then you got the old school grizzled vet. That would be my vet pick, would have been John Daly. See what actual shenanigans this guy gets up to. Would have been unreal.
Yeah, definitely. So I think would be cool. Just another thing that we don't get to see, and something that they could include behind the scenes, is just that, like, a guy basically leaving his hotel or condo, wherever he's staying, riding on the way to the course, getting to the course, and see how they get greeted at the course at these big tournaments, because there's a whole hospitality, like basically a whole event, right? I mean, there's a whole committee that greets you there, and then so you go there, you might eat breakfast there, and I'd like to just see them go for a tour all the way through and head out to the range, and then go to the putting green, and then they probably have, like, I don't know, like massages and stuff all throughout the day there. Like, I would just like to see like a behind the scenes of what it's like to be on the PGA. Do you know what I mean?
And then after round too, like when they go sign their scorecard, and because we only get to see that like once a year, really, when they go and sign their scorecard. If somebody else is in there already waiting to see how the other guy finished.
Right.
But it would be interesting to see how, like, Sergio or a Bubba comes flying into a scorecard booth after he had a shit round, and just see like how they act around people when in the cap. I think that would be super cool.
Yeah,
and
like
then
their
in the lounge
interactions
after, right?
Yeah,
would be sick.
Yeah, like they're in the locker
Like,
room and stuff. If you get a bit of like that interaction amongst them, that'll be perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, like a guy says like how to go today, and like, because they don't know, the other guys that are playing with them have no idea how their round went, right? At all. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff, I think, that we don't get to see ever, and I think that we kind of touched before that it's only going to really bring out more golf fans that didn't like golf before, but I think it's going to really enhance the game for even golf fans right now.
Yeah,
like I think it's going to be super cool.
Like right now, if you go on Netflix, you type in golf, and this is actually funny because the funny you said that, Rigo, about like coming off the course and asking each other how they did. Basically, the only show on Netflix right now for golf is The Short Game. Such a good movie, such a good documentary. It's so crazy to see those kids.
Right.
No, I was just thinking I've never seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I think there's another little like.
Oh, it's so good.
It's a sports documentary series, but there's like I remember watching it, and there was one episode where it was what the hell's his name's blow up at St. Andrews? Vanderbilt?
Oh
yeah. And like that. But other than that, there's no golf on Netflix at all. Like
Rigo,
Legend of Bagger Vance isn't in there.
Exactly. No, that show is so good. It's like it follows like the what's it? Is it Pinehurst? I think they play every year, like the juniors, the national juniors go there.
Yeah.
So there's
I
like
can't
the
remember.
6, 7-year-olds, 8, 9-year-olds, and they follow like a group of like 8 of them. They do spotlights on them, and like Anna Kournikova's little brother's on there, and he's like Macaulay Culkin except playing golf. Like he's just brilliant. And so anyways, one of his playing partners comes off the course, and he asks him how he did. Like these are 7-year-olds, right? So they don't have any sort of filter or anything or any knowledge of how they should be acting. But he asks him how he did. And it's like it cuts to him before he finishes his round. And he's like, oh, I really hope what's his name? Smarty or something like that. I really hope he made a few mistakes out there today. So Smarty comes off the green. And it's like, hey, Smarty, how'd you do? And he's like 39. Oh, really, man? What happened out there? And he's like pretending that he's like sad that he had a bad round, but he's actually like super pumped. And then he does like a quick victory lap because he's in first place for the finals. And so whoever his caddy is or his coach has to tell him like you can't be happy when other people have bad rounds and stuff like that. So it's just oh man, I just was smiling and laughing throughout that whole. It's like an hour and a half, and it's just the best. An hour.
You say Anna Kournikova's kid?
Little brother.
Oh.
So Anna Kournikova, at the time this was made, was probably 30 years old.
It's not that old, though.
And so, no, it's only maybe 5, 6 years old. But, or maybe she was even older because her mom and his mom is fairly old. So I'm thinking that there's a huge gap between them, but pretty cool. It's so good. You have to watch it.
Was this the same show? And maybe I'm thinking of something different, but like there was like a dad that was completely over the top that I wanted to stab.
There's a few dads.
Yeah,
there's a few dads like that. And I think it was the dad of the girl she called herself the Tigress or Tigress or whatever.
Yeah.
He was like basically saying that I can't afford to put my kid through college, so we need her to succeed at this.
And she like misses a putt and he's throwing his hat in the air and shit.
Yeah. And she literally cried for the entire round.
Hey, made her walk like behind him and carry her own bag. Like I was like, I'm going to knock this guy out for the TV.
It's so good. But I kind of did a follow-up of all the characters on there and like where they ended up. And a lot of them are actually playing in like Div 1 right now, golf.
Nice.
Oh, and then there's this one kid, sorry to go off on a tangent here, but there's this one kid who just like is so good. His name is Jed DY. So like they call him the Jedi Knight, but he's super good. And so, but he's like the most socially awkward, nervous kid ever. So he'll go up and like accept a trophy, but he like won't look at anyone. He just hates like the spotlight. And so he got assessed a 10-stroke penalty in this tournament. 10 strokes.
For what?
Because he was like 5 minutes late for his tee time. So he demolished the competition, but he got a 10-stroke penalty. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Holy.
Okay, anyway, sorry, boys. That was a huge tangent there.
Hey, back to the stuff that we're looking forward to here.
Yeah, if anybody hasn't seen that show on Netflix, before you get into the PGA one, watch The Short Game on Netflix. It's so good.
I think I'm interested in like one, seeing the houses they live in. Like I think some of their houses are gonna be sick. Like I'm not talking like the places they have like in the big cities. I'm talking like back in their hometowns. Like they're all gonna have a huge place that they have. And like I want to see the training facilities they have at their house, and 2, like they'll have kind of that old home course type of deal where they can basically just go do whatever they want at the course. And I hope they show stuff like that. Like, for example,
like season or what?
Yeah, or when they're just home and they got to go practice, like, and they can basically just have free reign of the course because they're on the PGA and they're a big deal, right? Like, it would be like if Horn, when he used to come back to Dauphin, like I guarantee he never paid for membership at all or anything like that. Like he would
same as Cockrell, right?
Right. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Like I think it'd be cool to see that and like the courses that they're at and I don't know. I think there's just a lot of cool stuff that they could cover in terms of the personal lives of the golfers.
Yeah, I don't know if we're
Yep.
like how they didn't get that deep into the personal lives of the guys on the F1 though. Like we didn't get home tours of
No.
anybody, eh?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they did. They went to the coaches there. They went to Daniel, what's his name, Ricardo. They went to
Ricardo's.
Australia,
Oh,
wherever
yeah.
he was at.
Yeah, true. And that one kid like moved out of his mom's house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to go to the F1 Red
Yeah.
Bull team, right?
Where did he go? Where did he get a house in Dubai or wherever the hell he was? Goes from mom's house to my friend's house in
Morocco.
Morocco. Yeah, that's what it was.
Morocco.
Bit of an upgrade.
Yeah, that's
how about
that's
that
the
guy?
one
His
thing.
mom was like was in
Yeah.
jail and shit like 2 years ago. Oh, that was wild.
I thought that she did worse based on how they were kind of going around it, but
Mhm.
I think there's a lot of people who you'd never know actually like have committed fraud of some sort.
Did shit, yeah.
Yeah, fraud's one thing. I mean, as an accountant, I've moved a few numbers around. Nothing that would cause anybody any harm, but
Is that an edit?
when you're harming other people, I think that's an issue.
Is that an edit?
Anyways.
Well, let's get
yeah,
to
I
our
might lose
predictions. Predictions.
I might
for
lose
ourselves.
my license, my CPA license after that one. Okay. So we're going to do a couple predictions here. We're at about 50 minutes, I think, already. Hey, Drums?
Yeah.
So we'll just do this, I think, and then we're going to do
Peace out.
segments?
Nah, we can peace out.
Save them for next week?
Yeah, same.
Okay. Because we do have one piece of housekeeping. You guys forgot to remind me, but we'll get to it.
No, you just talked for like 10 minutes straight, so I didn't want to cut it off and force an edit,
Yeah.
so I just didn't bring it up, but
Yeah,
it's
I
all
know.
good. We'll get to it.
The moral of the story is watch The Short Game. Great film to prepare you for the Netflix show.
Let's
So-
get into predictions here.
Yeah, what do you guys think? I put this poll on Twitter today about the popularity and who do you think that will increase the most in popularity after the show?
I picked two names.
You got two?
Yeah. And I picked Harry Higgs and Victor
Yeah.
Hovland. Like girls
Mhm.
are gonna go crazy for Victor Hovland.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Harry Higgs is just an absolute beauty, and I think he's a bit of a gong show.
You think the honeys are going to go mad for Vic?
Yeah.
Well, how come?
Good looking dude, and he's just like he looks like a sweetheart. Like that smile, that everything about
Yeah.
him. I guess from what we see, like everything about that guy, there's not much to not like about him. So based on that, that kind of lines up with his persona. But I think Harry's is going to be the standout star.
Yeah. I'll
I'm gonna go with
go
go ahead,
ahead,
Drums.
Rigo.
I'm gonna go with Drums' guy. Honestly, if it's possible for him to get any more popular, I think it's gonna be through this show. I think
Who?
Finau is gonna be
Big Tone. He was
I
out
don't
there
know
for me too.
Tony Finau. Yeah, I just think people are gonna absolutely fall in love with him. Like, not that they're not already, but people who don't watch the PGA and you see all the stats and how good he is and how good of a guy he is. Like, I think they're going to really build that up as well. So, and then I also think that, like, if he wins after they do that, like, I think it'll be like that much better. And especially if he wins during the filming, that would be like
Right.
unreal, right?
Yeah. Who do you got, Jor?
I don't know. I actually like all three answers that have been said so far, and I would agree with all three of those. But so I guess I'll go with Xander, because Rigo is always like Xander. We've been a big fan of Xander on the show, and even seeing him at the Ryder Cup after they won, and just kind of it brought out a bit of his personality that we would never see on the golf course.
Yeah, true.
I think that there's going to be a lot more of that. And one question that I hope that we find out, which I doubt we will, but do you remember that where he was smoking that cigar and like in that interview afterwards and he like winked at somebody?
Yeah.
Who's he winking
I
at?
want to know who he winked at.
Yeah.
Some honeys.
Was it a honey or was it like his dad or like a buddy or just some random newspaper
Or nobody.
media company?
Was
I
he
don't
just
know.
banged
Or
up? and he's
nobody. Maybe he
winking?
just knew that the camera was on him.
He's
Yeah.
just trying
could
out the
be.
wink.
There's two guys that kind of have social media presence already, but like Max Homa and Joel Dahman could take off in this
Yeah.
as well.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Depending,
there's
'cause
a
they have
potential
that
for a lot of
presence.
guys.
Bubba,
Bubba too. Yeah. But I kind of forget about Bubba with all these other names, but yeah, like I think a lot of my issue with Bubba was always like the religious shit, like the strong promotion of that. But when like he's just out being a beauty, he's an absolute beauty.
yeah, I think that we're all in the
He's
same boat.
such a beauty.
Yeah.
He's such a beauty. Like his social media stuff is really good. I don't know who does it. I know that he's actually a big part of it, unlike some of the guys like,
Right.
you know, Tiger or whatever. But some of the shots that he hits too, and just like his personality, I think that he's the most entertaining player to watch on the PGA in terms of like how wild he is and how like outlandish. That's kind of how, I don't know, it's weird to say, but that's how I am on the course. Like I just like yell and swear, and that's exactly how he is. But he'll hit a green, and he's like kind of like Hideki, except he speaks English, and he'll like, you know, be pissed off that he.
And that's his personality. Like I don't think there's an on-screen and off-screen personality with him. So I think, like you said, there's so much potential for so many guys to break out of this thing as a star. Yeah, it's gonna be unreal.
Who do you guys think will be the opposite? Who do you think will be less popular after the show?
I went with two again, and my two were JT and Speith. I actually put JT first, and then I put Speith second.
Speith, really?
Yeah. I was actually shocked he did this.
Yeah, I don't know. I love Speith, but
yeah. Because there's really not much that we've ever seen of him kind of off course. Like there's stuff from other guys that'll pop up, and like I don't really know all that much about his.
Yeah, he doesn't do much on social media, eh?
No, he kind of keeps to himself. So like that's why I was shocked. So maybe he's pretty standoffish, and maybe that's just his personality. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes across on the show.
Oh man, I love him, honestly. I love the way he yells at himself. Like I love the way he talks to himself on the course. Like I think it's abs. Like when he's in the hunt and he hits like shots and he's like, he just yells Jordan as loud as he can. You're terrible, or that's a horrible shot, Jordan. Like actually, I love that shit. Like me. I actually, I know it's not legal to have three, but I do have three.
What?
Yeah. Brooks, I think he's going to lose a lot of popularity in this show because people are going to realize what a jackass he is. Kevin Na, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the guy. I think him attacking Grayson Murray on the weekend, whatever. And Daniel Berger, I think that he's I shouldn't say these words, but I think he's an arrogant American, to be honest. I really do. He just gives me that vibe, and he doesn't get enough coverage normally, except when he's kind of in the hunt. But he's had a couple breakdowns on the course, and you could just tell like he's just kind of a prick to everybody around him. Like I don't know. That's my opinion on him. So this show might change that. He might be a super nice guy, but that's kind of the vibe I've gotten from him. And who knows what the show will dictate.
Is he freezing drums?
A little bit. You good?
Yeah. He's back. You good, Rigo?
Yeah, I don't know. Was it not good?
No, it was just like it kind of faded out right at the end. I think you got most of it out though. But I'm happy you guys went 2 and 3, except you left me with none of them. So
did you pick anybody different, or were you kind of on board?
No, I had Brooks and I had Berger. I mean, JT would have been obviously too obvious for me, right? Like, right. I don't know. I don't get a good. I am actually liking him more and more as time goes on. So I didn't want to go there, but I agree with the Brooks thing for sure. And I think of Berger as well. Berger was my number one, but I just remember seeing Berger and Brooks actually playing together in the Ryder Cup, and they were horrendous to watch, and they treated that rules official like shit when they didn't get their way. And so I think that Rigo said it perfectly in terms of I don't know. I don't like lumping American in there anymore because there are a lot of really good Americans that I like, but very arrogant and very spoiled. And that's kind of the vibe that I've always got from JT, is that it's arrogant and spoiled. So they're all kind of the same to me, but that's that.
I got one last one that could be like a huge fan favorite by the end. Is Tommy Fleetwood. I totally forgot he was in it. He could be an absolute beauty, I bet.
I just don't know that he'll be willing to put himself out there enough to show his, maybe give him
not. You're
six Guinness and afterwards, and he might, but I don't know. But I agree with you. I think that he's always been someone that I've liked following just because he seems like such a down to earth guy.
Same with Rickie as well. Like he's kind of been a hot name amongst people talking about this just because he's kind of not in the same realm as these guys anymore. He is lower on the list. He's trying to get into major tournaments and stuff like that. But that personality, right? Like he was kind of the gatekeeper to this generation of talent, I guess. So he's still, I think he's still going to be perfect for this show.
Like if they would have done this,
sorry. I was just going to say, I want to know what Rickie has to say, like how he's been feeling lately, because it's got to be an awful feeling for him. And I think that they would have captured some of that already with their filming that they've done so far.
And I think he'll be quite open about it too.
Yeah.
Like if he's having mental issues or whatever it is, I think Rickie would be the guy that talks about it.
Definitely.
What were you saying, Rigo?
No, I just like if this is 10 years ago, Rickie's probably the headliner, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And now he's like you said, it'd be cool to hear what he's gone through, because it's easy for us to say, like flick on the score or be watching TV and say, oh shit, Rickie missed another cut. Yeah. What's the matter with him? God, he's shitty. But it'd be interesting to see what's actually happening behind the scenes leading to him to have such a decline. And now he's kind of on the rise again. So it's also good timing for him right now, because he's kind of back a little bit right now, I guess. Like it'd be interesting to see what he does this weekend, but yeah.
Well, it'd be a good storyline, that's for sure, if they started filming when he was out of the top 50 and missing majors and shit like that, right? And then all of a sudden, as it progresses, he's right back there. I think that'd be a super cool storyline for them, especially being such a likable guy like Rickie.
Yeah.
Okay, so we kind of we went a little bit overboard with like 3 each here, so I'd say we can kind of skip these last two because we've covered them, I think, unless you guys have anything else you want to add about.
Yeah,
because we're gonna say who you're most excited to see more of, and someone you will forget was even on the show. So
let's just pick one of these each.
Go ahead.
I'm most excited to see more of DJ. I feel like he's really private. I feel like you don't see a whole lot of him, and I hope you actually get to see, because he's unbelievable, man. And Polina, but I don't know, man. I think he's one of the he's so good, and he just doesn't get any attention of any sorts at all. I don't think, anyways. You don't see him as the poster boy for anything, and he should be, because he's been right around the top for like 10 years. Like I don't know.
I think it probably is a lot to do with his like PGA on-screen persona.
Yeah.
Like he just gives you a stock answer. Like you don't get a whole lot out of him ever.
His interviews.
Yeah. Like there's not much to
them. And as we kind of as I'd say we kind of wind this down, I think that'll be probably the most important thing that comes out of this is the PGA has, put these players basically in their own little bubble or like leashes around their neck, almost in a sense, because they don't show stuff that we want to see. And the players, they kind of want the players to be portrayed as like the perfect person with a perfect family, perfect wife, they're catting their kids and stuff like that.
Right.
But everybody knows that that's not how the world is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really just looking forward to seeing some of their true, authentic selves come out.
Absolutely. Whoever it is, as long as somebody,
Whoever it is,
as long
exactly.
as there is multiple guys, and I'm sure there is going to be. The
'Cause
person I think, sorry,
No, go ahead, Drums.
I was going to say the person I think that I will forget about rather quickly in the show was going to be Kevin Na. Like, I have zero care for him. All of a sudden, he popped up this weekend, was torching guys on Twitter, and then he'll just fade back into obscurity again. Like, I get it, he's the best putter on the league, but like, that doesn't, nothing about
What the hell
him screams about come and watch me.
You gave me shit for eating on here before. Now you're eating on here like a damn horse.
Can't help it. Yeah, Kevin Na. The only thing about him is like he walks in the putts, but we've already seen that story, right?
Yeah, Ian Poulter I could go without on this show, but
He might be
Just 'cause-
interesting, but
boy.
I don't know. Cameron Champ might be the guy that nobody remembers was on the show.
You think?
I
well,
don't
what
know.
about this Mito Pereira? Like, I don't even know
Yeah,
who
who
that
is that?
Don't have a clue.
Mito.
Okay. Anyways, let's wrap this shit up.
All right. Well, thanks
No,
for
Drums,
joining
I
us.
got housekeeping, remember?
What do you got? A little reason?
Yeah, sorry whoever's listening to this specifically. If you hear me chomping, I just had a reason
Yeah,
that I found
tough.
on my
Yeah,
desk.
great
Here.
timing.
Sorry, I got hungry.
Really tough.
I need a last boost of energy here to get me through the housekeeping. Rigo, do you got a pen and paper?
Yep.
We had a contest on Instagram last week, and we forgot to do when Cockrell was on here, so we have to do it now. And the question was, we had a Shiloh cover that we we're in the process of making. This before Christmas, but with every one of our custom covers, we get the initial design, and then we send like 3-4 pictures with a couple different options to the customers if they're unsure of what they want. So we posted a picture of it and said, guess which one they went with. And it was our favorite beverage cart girl from Wheat City, Jasmine, who purchased the cover for her dad. So anyways, we got only 3 people who guessed the correct answer.
So obviously she didn't pick the right one.
No, she didn't guess.
No, I know, but I'm saying if everybody else thought
that's what she said. She messaged me and said that too.
Did she choose the wrong design?
It sounds like it. A lot of people went with number 2.
Yeah, I thought number 2 too.
So anyways, Kelsey Chamberlain, who I'm thinking has some insider info here.
Yeah, she can't win. That's her cart girl, isn't it?
She's pals with Jasmine. Yeah, that's her cart girl.
That's not fair.
So that's insider trading, but we can't prove it. So we'll have to let her in on this. Boomer 9191, Marcus Freeze.
Boomy.
I think that's Hags' good buddy.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
And I thought there was one more. Oh yeah, there is one more. Mika Croker. And he was a King Cup member in 2021. Team Croker.
Mito Pereira shows that we don't know anything about golf because he's won 3 times on the Corn Ferry Tour and has automatically been promoted to the PGA.
Yeah, well.
Welcome to the PGA, Mito. Welcome to the PGA, bud.
If we were still editing, we would edit that out.
Welcome to the PGA, Mito.
Man, reasons are good.
Yeah, that sounds like it. Bloody well obnoxious.
Okay, speed this up, baby.
What the fuck are you doing?
So the winner.
Sorry, I was just warned about this 5 seconds ago.
Well, be prepared.
Yeah, you were supposed to do it last week.
Just got some wicked bad head.
Drums, can you put your 2 back to how you had it for this draw?
Huh?
Can you put your toque out as you had it? Boomer.
Boomer 9191. Boomer.
Wrap the show up like that, Drums.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. We are out of here for this week. Thank you for joining us for a little recap of the upcoming Netflix documentary. We'll sign off for this week. Peace out, everybody. Love you, boys. Later.
Boys.
Love you, boys.
Is that Red Foreman?